Hey, what's up, guys? It's Jurassic Prince. It's been a while since I've done a video. I hope you guys are having a good day. Recently, I got the chance to talk to Jurassic Jen, who is one of the biggest Jurassic Park fans out there. The interview was so great that it's amazing how Jurassic Park fans show their love for the entire franchise. And it makes me excited to talk to more fans in the future. So I hope you guys enjoy the video.
Hello,
Okay.
how's it going?
Yay. Good. How are you? Sorry about that. I'm like,
That's all good. I can't complain. Finally, it's good to meet you kind of in
video.
person. Video, I
Kind of.
guess.
I mean, in person for these days. It's
Yes,
basically in
yes.
person.
Well, Jurassic
Cool.
Jen. I was just telling people about you in my quick introduction video and how you're one of the biggest Jurassic Park fans out there.
Oh, yes. But
And
there's a lot of freaking. I thought I was like the biggest one, but now I'm like, oh, yeah.
well,
There's people.
I mean,
Yeah.
to me, you're one of the biggest. I mean, you show off all your, Jurassic Park T-shirts, some toys. You have you even have a poster right behind you, which is pretty
I
cool.
know. I just put that up actually because I haven't framed any of my posters. I didn't have room. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to put it up. I'm going to get frames and put it all up. I even have the 25th anniversary one in my room,
Really?
like the collectible one thing.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think
Uh-huh.
who has that one? I think Clayton has that poster too.
I'm sure he does.
I have the
Yeah.
2013 20th anniversary poster, the one when it came out in
Ooh.
IMAX 3D.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
So I have that. It's like around the corner somewhere, but
And I have your blanket, the blanket that's behind you.
yes,
I
yes.
actually just washed mine yesterday
Oh, that's cool.
because I use it so much.
Really. It's pretty comfortable. I mean, to me, it's kind of thin.
It is.
I like heavy blankets because I like to curl up when it's like warm and all that.
Uh-huh.
To me, that's kind of light, so I like heavy blankets. But that's
Oh,
just me
that's
though.
fair.
But Jurassic Jan, like I said before, you're
Thanks.
like one of the biggest Jurassic Park fans out there, and I'd like to hear your story on how it all began, how you became a Jurassic Park fan.
Oh, it goes back to when I was like when the movie came out actually. So a lot of people like I've met throughout the years think it's like I have a love of dinosaurs that made me become a Jurassic Park fan, but it was
Hmm.
actually the vice versa.
Right.
So when I was younger and I went to see the movie, it just like changed my life. And everybody thought like, oh, she's just obsessed with it now. Like if you speak to my mom or anybody, like I was obsessed, like so bad. Like
Hmm.
and everybody's just like she'll get over it. I was like reenacting scenes with my brother and sister. Like it was just an obsession. Like I just like my biggest passion. And everybody's like she's gonna get over it. She's just young, blah blah blah. And then now look at me. Like I'm still going. But now I feel good because now I have like a whole fandom that has my back. I thought I was the only one. Not I didn't think I was the only one, but I didn't realize how big the fandom is. And it's like I love it. It makes me feel so like I just love it.
You feel like
Mhm.
you're how do you say this? You
I'm
feel
part of a little clique.
Yeah, you feel like you're included with the other Jurassic Park family. Which
Yes.
same with me. When Jurassic World came out 5 years, oh, it's about to be 6 years this year.
Yes.
I'm like, I had no idea that there's actually tons of fans out there. I thought I was the only one because I used to work at the movie theater, and when Jurassic World came out, I just saw people just like me. Like,
Yes.
oh, okay, there is people like me. That's my kind. You know.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. That's how it felt. I was like, I know there's people who love it and like they'll talk to me about it, but like no one really understood how much I loved it. And so it
Hmm.
feels good to have people that like even people like I'm not like toys are like a big thing and I have some toys back in New York from when I grew up, but my
Hmm.
thing was like I'm so like I always get like shirt like I don't know I have like a huge Jurassic Park shirt collection which
Hmm.
at first I was like wasting like not wasting all my money but I was spending all my money on like all Jurassic Park shirts and
Right.
like wearing them all the time and all that stuff and now it's like I have a huge collection of that but like the toys and stuff I never got like on the bandwagon with it but I have
Hmm.
some stuff in New York like that I wish I brought with me but it's mostly just like what I have here in my apartment not too
Gotcha.
much but yeah
It's all good. I mean,
uh-huh
at least, I mean, t-shirts though. You do have great Jurassic Park fashion.
I have so much. And that's why I think like everybody else I see with all their toys, I'm like, oh, I want that. And then it's like, I don't go for the toys as much as I go for the freaking fashion. I have like sweatpants and sweatshirts and t-shirts and
I like the one
tank
where
tops.
you had what, PJs or something, and you turned it into like a dress.
A dress, yes.
I like that one. That's actually that was great.
I could wear it to a red carpet event. The Jurassic Park red carpet event.
Dominion. Show up to,
oh, that's true. I should show up with that as a dress and my pajama pants.
Yeah.
And it was really cute. Speaking of the fandom, like other girls in the fandom did it as well. So it was like really cute because we had like a bunch of pictures and it was like cute. That's what I love. It's like just how everybody just comes together and we have that same passion for it. And we all have different like versions of it. Like I said, some people collect toys. I do the t-shirts. I also like my biggest thing for Jurassic Jen was to like, because I'm an actress, so it's like to recreate scenes from it, like more like funny and jokey. So before COVID happened, I was doing a lot of those, like recreating the scenes and doing little sketches and stuff. And now that it's happened, it's hard to get like the crew and stuff together. But once it's done, I'll get back on the skits and stuff. But that's what I love about the fandom. It's like everybody has their own like little separate thing of what they do. They have a podcast or they have toy collection or they have this. So it just makes me, it's amazing. Like,
that is amazing. So tell me about the time when you first saw the movie, the very first time, if you can remember.
Oh, I could remember. It's like, so originally me and my dad would always see a movie like a week or every 2 weeks or something. It was like our thing. We would go to the movies, but we always did like comedy movies. Like that was our thing, was comedy. And I remember he was like, I'm going to take you to see Jurassic Park. And I was just like, I was like lying and being like, yeah, of course. But I was like so scared because I was hanging out with these like younger boys, like my family friends and stuff, like kind of like cousinish, and they said they saw it and they described it and like it felt so scary. They were like, oh, this kid gets electrocuted and the dinosaur eats this guy, and I'm like, oh my god. So I was scared, so I kept telling my dad like, I don't know if I want to see that. So I kept like pushing it. And then one day he's like, Jen, I'm just gonna take you to see it. I think you're gonna like it. And I remember leaving the theater, like I still remember how I felt. It was like, I need to be like in a movie. I need to be in something like epic like this. I need to be, that's what like made me want to be an actress. Cause like, I felt like it was always like an itch for me because I always would be really creative and like I would write like screenplays, like just for myself and put myself in the movies, but I never like thought to myself, oh, I'm going to be an actress. And when I saw that movie, I'm like, no, I need to be a part of this. I need to be a part of something this iconic. And then I was like, can we go see it again on a next movie night? And he would and he was so good that he kept taking me and taking me and taking me. I want to say he took me like 9 times. I always say it's 9 times, but it could have been more.
9 times.
Yeah.
9 times.
9 times.
9 times.
So yeah, it was just magical to me, and I kept seeing it. And like, if you talk to my mom, she's like, I had to like go to the video store because back then it was VHS, and she was like,
oh yeah,
she pre-ordered the movie for me and spent like so much money so I could get it like a few weeks before, like when the video store got it. And dope. Like yeah, and then she like, I bought the CD, and like my mom was like, you used to just be in the room like listening to the soundtrack. And I remember even as a young kid, like just sitting there, like the music itself was just like so magical to me. Beautiful. And like it would be like I don't even know how to explain the feeling as like wanting to be an actress, but it's like I need to be like a part of this like franchise. And it was just, it made me want to be an actress. I started to reenact the scenes with my brother and sister. My brother still is like, I used to make my brother be Timmy. My sister was the dinosaur. Like it was just nonstop, like a reenact. And I was Lex always, because that was, even though she was older than me in it, I still related to her as a young girl in it. And now of course I'll relate to like Ellie, but like back then it was like I was Lex, and we would do the kitchen scene and the T-Rex scene. And my friend who would come and visit sometimes, my best friend, she still remembers, I would make her be the lawyer, I would make her be Gennaro. Like I just started casting people like when they would come over, just putting, yeah. And my friend still remembers, like, so I would just like reenact all the time. And it's kind of cool that I'm kind of doing that now, but I actually like recorded and like get in costume for it. But I wish I could have recorded it back then, but there was like, we just did it for fun. There was like nothing to record it on. I didn't have like a huge
there's no such thing as social media back then.
Yes. And like if I had a cell phone, I would probably do it. But like I know my uncle had like a big camcorder, but like I didn't use it or anything like that. So, but it would be fun to like go back and watch if it was possible to see how I was. And my sister was always like, "You always made me be the dinosaur. I never could be a human." I'm like, "But you're the star of the show." Like,
You're the
so
most
it was
most important
the
character.
most important.
Yeah, the
Exactly. So
dinosaur.
it was exactly. I'm like, "You're the star." So, but so it just like it just hit me like that, and ever since then, it was just kind of like I started to like. I started to just like I'm like I have to be a part of something this epic. I have to be in like a big movie, and like it made me even love movies. I was always a movie person with my dad, but like this just made me like love it more. And then it was just like it was the start of like my journey to be an actress, to be a part of the film. And I also realized, I know you love him too, but like I realized that a lot of the movies that inspired me to become an actress was from Steven Spielberg.
The best
And
director out there.
the best director. And it's like, yes, exactly.
Greatest of all time.
The greatest of all time. I can't wait to be his actress one day. So if you hear me, put me in one of your movies.
If you were to have a role in a Jurassic World movie, what would that be? What kind of role would you want in a Jurassic movie? If you,
Well, I'll take any role.
But if you choose though,
yes, I would just want to be like kind of like a badass character. Like it doesn't have to be like Ellie Sattler badass, but just something where there's like some kind of like I want my character to have substance. So like I want to like people to like relate to my character, like anything like that. But I also just want to be in like those moments where like I'm running from a dinosaur, or like I have to like get away from a dinosaur, or I have to save someone, or someone has to save me, kind of like I just picture myself in some kind of like suspense role where like the audience is like looking at the TV and they don't know if I'm gonna die or not, kind of thing. So it's like I never really thought about like, do I want to be a scientist? Do I want to be this? I never thought about like just more of like a general like kind of character that's like in it.
I can picture a character of you in a Jurassic movie where I guess a little girl or a kid of somewhat gets, chased by like some little dinosaurs, and you're coming in there to protect her, and you're about to get eaten, but then Alan Grant comes in and saves your life with the guns, or I don't know, something like that. I think
something like, cool. But that's exactly what it is. It's kind of like, even I was always saying like, put me in the movie, and if I'm in like 2 scenes and then I get eaten in the 3rd scene, like I'm cool with that. But like I just want to be a part of like the action part of it, and an actual character, not like background or anything, like an actual character that people would be like, oh, like she was a really cool character.
Do you have any like shirts you can show me? Any
didn't bring, like I have so many. I'm wearing one, but I don't know if you can see
the
it.
Rexy, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cute.
The Rexy one. And then I got this, she's so wonderful. It's at Busted Button on Instagram. She sent me this.
Gotcha.
So freaking cool. But I do have like Zavi has been like used to send me stuff. They don't do it anymore, but like they sent me this cute.
Oh, Nedry.
Yes. Who I actually was trying to get to be in one of my sketches, but it was so hard to get into. Everybody's like, I see him in Whole Foods. I see Wayne Knight here and here, and I was trying to get into
Wayne Knight.
Yes.
Really?
And
my God.
So many people say he's so awesome, and like I don't know if I would have the guts to ask him to be one of my sketches, but like I feel like they were like, I feel like if you talk to him, like, blah, blah. So everybody sees him everywhere. Like they saw him in Whole Foods, they saw him in Ralph's, they saw him everywhere, and I'm like,
really?
I never bump into him, but he's like, I love him. So yeah, I had like some toys, and then I had my little raptor claw.
Oh, the raptor claw.
Yes, which I want to do a sketch with this too once things get.
Maybe
better.
You can do like a little remake scene with her for the 6 foot.
I know you had him on. Yes.
Yeah. Maybe
that would be awesome.
If you guys do like a remake of that scene, I think that'd be pretty dope.
That would be so dope. That would be so dope.
I know we've talked about this before a while back, but rank the Jurassic Park movies from from most favorite to least favorite.
Okay, I know I get so much shit for this, but of course, number 1 is like boom, boom, boom on the top. It's always going to be my favorite.
Yeah.
And I want to go with actual Jurassic World as my 2nd favorite. And it's more because I just feel like there's like a Jurassic vibe to it, which is why like the 3rd I actually would say is Jurassic Park 3. Because I know people say it's cheesy, and I have rewatched it a few times, and there are such cheesy parts, and I know that, but there's still like a Jurassic vibe to it. Like they're out there, they're escaping from dinosaurs, like it's just like a Jurassic vibe. Then I like the Lost Worlds because the beginnings that Jurassic vibe, but I hated, I don't know why, and like I get so much shit for this, but the moment they came into like San Diego, I was just like, it kind of took me out of the whole like Jurassic vibe. Good movie, but it just didn't feel like Jurassic-y. And that's why like Fallen Kingdom is my least favorite, because it's just I love the movie. Like I love Fallen Kingdom. I love the movie, but it's just not Jurassic Parky to me, if that makes sense. Like it just doesn't, it just feels like a regular good movie. Like it's not like Jurassic Park. So we'll see Dominion what happens, but
it's probably because they're not on the island anymore. I mean, they killed off Newtwater. That's probably why, because they're not on the island. They're in like California.
Exactly. So that's what it was. And they're like London or something where they were. But like, but then when Colin came out with the Battle at Big Rock, that was not on the island, but it still felt so Jurassic Parky to me. So I'm like, I hope that's what Dominion brings, because I know they're not going to be like on the island. They're going to be all over the place. But it's like, as long as it comes up with that feel, like the way Battle at Big Rock was, like, then we'll be okay.
I think it has some Lost World vibes, because when that dinosaur flips the little like trailer or mobile home, it's kind of like in the Lost World. The same shot too, the very same shot too, and then at the very end they have the Lost World theme song, and
so it just gives that, like, I don't know. So I'm thinking like Dominion's gonna give me the vibe still, because I was worried. I'm like, oh my goodness, it's not going to be Jurassic Parky. But then when I saw his little short, I'm like, okay, it could be. And the crazy thing is, like, this is how I tell you how I keep getting close to people. I did a Jurassic Jen skit before Dominion came out to get me in Jurassic
I saw that.
World. Like, you know, so it was like, which Colin actually saw. I mean, it didn't get me in it, but he saw it, I guess. He told me he did. But the woman that did my hair on that set, her daughter is the lead in Battle of Big Rock.
Get the out.
I swear, she didn't even know when she was doing it. She contacted me right away. She was like, it was like a super NDA kind of thing, and she didn't even tell her mother. She was just shooting in like another country. And when she came back, she was like, oh my God, I gotta tell Jen. Like, because she actually did my hair for my thing to get me in Dominion.
Well, the industry, it's kind of a small world. It's big, but it's also small. Big and it depends. What do you think is going to happen in Dominion? What's your prediction?
I don't know. It's like I keep changing my thoughts all the time. But I do, like I said, I do think because at his little Battle of Big Rock, it was like setting up of like all the dinosaurs are all over the place. And then when I see the behind the scenes, I don't know like where they're shooting, if that's where it's going to take place or whatever. But it just seems like it's going to be. I think they call in like Ellie and Grant and Malcolm to like help them because they have the experience. So I think that's part of it. I could be wrong, but like I think that's all that. But I think it's just like dinosaurs take control of like the freaking world. Like they're just all over the place.
It's an actual Jurassic World.
Yes. So that's why I was worried, because I'm like, oh, they're not on the island. But I think it's going to be pretty awesome because, like I said, the Battle at Big Rock, I was like, oh my God, this is freaking awesome. Like I watched it over and over again. I'm like, you see, this is so awesome. So I think it's going to have that vibe where it's just like, I think I might have dreamt it, but I think I read there's like a drive-in theater and like a dinosaurs attack that or something like that. I don't know if I dreamt it or I read it somewhere.
That reminds me of Twister. Have you seen the movie Twister?
Yes, I haven't seen it in a while, but I love Twister.
That scene where they're all watching The Shining in the driving theater, and then the tornado comes and interrupts the movie and all that. It's kind of like that, where the dinosaurs are interrupting the movie and all hell breaks loose.
Yes, exactly. So I feel like if that's in it, that would be like a cool role. And like, I don't know. I think it's going to be awesome. It's probably going to be a long movie, but we're not even going to feel how long it is. I don't care.
It could be 4 hours and I wouldn't give a damn.
Exactly. I can't wait. I mean, I'm happy. I mean, I'm not happy that it's not coming out this year, but then I'm happy because it's like, it deserves like the big theater experience. And I don't think theaters are going to come back and have that experience soon. I can't imagine Colin's going to do. He's another genius. I love him. He's like,
he is a great. I do like his style. He is a good director, I would say.
And that's what he's like an inspiration to me too, because like I know I've heard interviews with him, and Jurassic Park was a kind of a big motivation for him too.
Yeah.
And he came from directing like one movie, like one feature film, and then now he's like one of the biggest directors. Like,
what's your favorite character in the entire franchise? Like, if you have one.
I have to. I know I love Ian Malcolm, but and I love him. He's like the greatest. I feel like he has the best lines. He has the best character. He's so
Mhm.
badass. I love him. But there's something about Alan Grant. I don't know. He's just my man. Like, and then especially like Sam Neill himself makes me just like love Alan Grant even more. I don't know. I feel like Alan Grant's like my favorite character. He's
Oh,
just,
I can't wait.
yeah.
I can't wait to see him in Dominion.
I know.
I want to know what's he been up to after all these years. Like, yeah, I wonder if he gets back with Ellie. You know,
I know it's gonna be interesting.
I mean,
It's gonna be so interesting.
I was kind of bummed out when they end up together in the third movie. I'm like, okay. So when I first saw JP3 in theaters, when I saw the little kid Charlie playing with his toys and all
You
thought
it was his son.
I thought it was his son. Oh, Ellie has a son now. Okay, that's cute. And then when Ellie comes in, I'm like, oh, it's Ellie. Okay, cute.
Yeah.
Have a kid together. But then when she comes over to the other guy, to her husband, I'm like, wait, what? To me, it was just like a twist. I'm like, and that's not Alan's son. That's that other guy's son. What? I don't know. I'm like, oh my god.
It's so. But I think obviously they did that on purpose because like they want you to think that and then go, oh man. I know this might be like off a lot, but like it reminded me. I think it was it Castaway when Tom Hanks goes back to his wife, but she's like remarried or something.
Yeah, that was Castaway.
It kind of I know it's like totally different because like Alan and Ellie weren't ever married, but it reminded me of that kind of like these two people I feel like are supposed to be together and they love each other, but like the girl's like with somebody else kind of thing. It reminded me about that. Like,
yeah, that's a good movie.
It's such a good movie.
Wilson.
Yeah, but I love the Orlando Universal Studios, and one of my favorite theme parks is Islands of Adventure, which is like, and like I'm from the East Coast, so like every summer I would go to Orlando. I would go to Disney there. I would go to Islands of Adventure, Universal Studios. I haven't been there in years, but like I love like Universal Studios because I did go to the ride opening for here, and that was a freaking amazing night. Like so freaking amazing.
Yeah,
so.
You saw Chris Pratt and Colin, and
that's when Colin told my friend that he saw my video because like apparently at first I didn't believe people, but Colin was at this event. He's such a great guy, and like he was at this like women in film event that my friend was at, and she called me in the morning and she's like, don't freak out. And I'm like, what? She's like, I brought Colin up to you, and like he didn't know who you were as Jennifer Durst, but he knew who you were as Jurassic Jen. And I was like, oh, that's so cool. But I thought she was kind of like lying to me. And then at the ride opening, I went to go to the bathroom, but I bumped into somebody and I started talking to them. And my friend went to get coffee. And when she came back, she was like crying. And I'm like, why are you crying? She's like, I just met Colin. I'm like, of course you did. Like everyone's meeting Colin except me. And she's like, no, I brought you up. And he was just like, who is this Jurassic Jen? Like everyone keeps bringing her up and like all this stuff. So so it was true that like my name was getting around to him, which was like so awesome.
Well, that's good.
And then at the end of the night, I saw him from afar and he came and gave me a hug, took a picture of me, but he had to like leave. But just the fact that he walked over like really far to come hug me just to be like so supportive and nice was like, it meant so much to me. Like he was so cool. It was a magical night.
Magical night for sure. What's your favorite scene in each Jurassic Park movie?
That's a good one. So the Jurassic Park, the original, it's hard because I loved so many of it, but I feel like the one that always sticks out in my head is the kitchen scene. Like it just, it scared the crap out of me when I was younger. And even now, like I know what's gonna happen, but I'm still like on edge of my seat like every time I watch it. Like it's just like, oh my God, like run. And I'm like, duh, I know what's gonna happen. They're gonna be fine. But it's like, it still like makes me jump and stuff like that. So I feel like that has to probably be like one of my favorites. Also the one when Ellie's and like she's like, Mr. Hammond, I think we're back in business. Like God. That still scares the crap out of me. And I know the raptor is gonna come, but it scares the crap out of me.
That's a good jump scare by Spielberg.
Oh my God!
Because Spielberg, I mean, Jurassic Park is not really a horror film, but it does have some scary moments, and that's definitely one of them.
Such a good one. So like, I feel like those are my two favorite scenes because it's like, even though I know exactly what's gonna happen, I'm still always scared for some reason. The Lost World. That's so. I might have to come back to that. I mean, I like. I feel like the Lost World. I love just freaking Jeff Goldblum like Ian Malcolm. Like I don't, like it's just like the word, like everything, his lines,
I
everything he
think
says.
I like his lines more in the second one than the first one.
Yes,
Yeah, he's
exactly.
more. I think he's more sarcastic.
Sarcastic. So I don't know if I have like a specific scene that I love so much in that one, but I just love like all his like banter and his lines and his sarcasm. So yeah, I don't know if I have like a specific scene because, like I said, it wasn't like one of my favorites. Oh, maybe actually, I guess one of my. I think a suspenseful scene in that is when, when the T-Rex couple like throws them off in like the glass. I felt like that was really suspenseful, and that got me on the edge of my seat, kind of, for sure.
That's unique about the second movie is that there's 2 T-Rexes in the second movie.
Yes,
well, 3 if you count
the couple.
3 if you count the baby.
Yeah,
and that's I think that's badass, and that's like the only time where you see a male T-Rex, because the other movies is just female. And Buck, you know, he has this, you know, scar, you know, on his face, you know. I think pretty cool. It's like Scarface, you know.
Yeah, I think it's so cool. So I think that, but I feel like at a suspenseful part, like that was like my favorite, that's like most memorable. But like just in general, I feel like what made the movie is like all of freaking Jeff Goldblum's lines in that movie.
Yeah.
Jurassic Park 3, when they get in to the cage, the bird cage, and like just, oh my goodness, that I know there's so many like quote unquote cheesy parts in that, but that terrified me.
And that's that is a good scene. I would say that's one of my favorite scenes in that movie too.
Because, yeah, it's my favorite.
Because there were no pteranodons in the first movie. There were in the second movie, but not towards the end. And then in the third one, you actually see the outcome of and
it's like scary. It's like you see like how like big they are, and then like it just comes out of like when she comes out of like the fog, and I was like, oh, that's creepy. Like that's another one that I still get the chills every time I see it. And I think that's what made me feel like this is such a Jurassic Park feel still, because it's creepy, it's on the island, it's like they're running from something, and it's just like terrifying, kind of like. So that was definitely like stand out and one of my favorite scenes in the whole movie. Jurassic World, I freaking love Jurassic World though. I was like in awe when I left, because I was like, it's so scary to like come back. That was like the first movie back, and I'm like, I hope they don't like ruin it. And like, I think they did such a good job. So scared.
Yeah.
I think one of the most magical scenes for me in that, I don't know if it's my favorite, but I guess it is because it's sticking out in my head, is when when Bryce Dallas Claire goes and gets Rexy out. Like I thought that was so freaking iconic.
Yes.
So that's it's like my favorite scenes are the ones that it's like I picture myself like I would love to be in that kind of like shot. Like it was just iconic.
Running in heels.
Yeah, the running in heels. It's like so I feel like that was one of my favorite scenes, and like it was just kind of actually I think that was like one of my favorite scenes for sure. But the scene that really touched me, and I remember seeing it for the first time when I saw Jurassic World. I saw it in the Chinese theater like the Thursday night before or something, and it hit me like emotionally, like so it affected me so much, was when they go and they see the old Jurassic Park, like the raptor wallpaper.
Yeah, the visitor
and like
center,
that.
yeah.
I was like ready to cry. So I have to say that's one of the most like epic scenes to me that like touches my heart. So like in Jurassic World.
Yeah, that is a good scene. I didn't like how what's his face, Zach. I didn't like how he burned down the what you call it, the banner.
He burns it together.
Like, I know he needs fire.
Yeah, I guess it's just survival mode. Yeah. But it was so epic, like how they saw it and they're like touching the wall, and I'm like, oh my god, that's the visitor center.
Throwback.
Like, yeah. Oh my god, it like hit me, and it's still when I watch it, I still get that little feeling. But the first time I saw it, I was like, oh my god. Fallen Kingdom, like I said, it's not very Jurassic Parky to me, so I don't know. Still a good movie, but I don't know. One of the most memorable scenes, obviously, when the Brachiosaurus is like in the fire and stuff. But that's not my favorite. But I feel like it's one of the most memorable that like sticks out to me. But like I loved more of like the scenes when they were like there, and not so much back in London in the mansion or whatever they were.
I think they shot the movie in London, but it takes place. I mean, they cheat the location taking place in Northern California. So,
okay.
Yeah.
So so I'm not like
Yeah, I was sad when the Brachiosaurus died, it reminds me of the death of the mother in The Land Before Time.
Oh yeah.
That's what it
No,
reminds
it
me
was
of.
so sad. And then didn't they say like that? It's like that was the Brachiosaurus, the first one. There was like all those like
I guess it was a rumor about that, right? I guess it was
yeah.
supposed to be, and I think they had the same shot of it, stepping on just the two legs and trying to grab the tree. I think that's the same shot when it got burned. You see in the fire.
That's
I'm like,
interesting and so heartbreaking. So it's
yeah.
like, so I feel like that's my memorable scene. Like if somebody says Fallen Kingdom, that's like one of the ones that pop out to me.
I have a prediction for Dominion because the Hudson's is coming back, right?
Uh-huh.
I think I'm going to predict that he's going to get killed. He's going to get eaten by the Dilophosaurus. It's kind of like a flashback.
Yeah,
because he sent Nedry to get the embryos off the island, and he gets eaten by the Dilophosaurus.
That would be a good idea.
And it really, if you think about it, it's Dodgson's fault why Jurassic Park failed.
Yes.
He sent Nedry to, screw up the systems and shut down the power and all that. And so that would
be a good like irony kind of like foreshadow kind of like, but that would be awesome because I also want to see the Dilophosaurus back. I feel like we don't see him at all.
That's an underrated dinosaur.
It's an underrated dinosaur. Also, like I used to love the Gallimimus scene, and I used to think the Gallimimus was like so cute and like innocent, and I'm like, we never see the Gallimimus anymore. We like never see the Dilophosaurus anymore. Like there's a whole bunch of dinosaurs that I hope.
Yeah, Spinosaurus. Who knows? Maybe the Spinosaurus.
Yes. That was a big one too, for sure.
I saw in an interview where Spielberg was telling somebody that the Dilophosaurus spitting the venom in the what do you call it? The
is it? I say fang. I don't know.
I think it's a fang.
Yeah, like a fang.
I think it's a fang. So those two things. That's not what a Dilophosaurus really did back then. It was actually what Spielberg created. He actually invented that idea for the Dilophosaurus.
So good.
Yeah.
See? I don't know. I just love him. He's so genius. He's amazing. But oh, I have a little mug too.
Yeah. Oh, that's cute. Major high voltage, 10,000 volts. That's cute. I have an engine. I have an engine mug too.
I love that. I just got an InGen sweater.
Oh yeah, I saw that on your Instagram page. Which, speaking of, so you have an Instagram page. Tell me more about that. Where can people find you?
It's at Jurassic.Jen. It was funny because I tried to get Jurassic Jen and someone else had it.
Really?
So yeah, but like it's like it had like 20 followers, and it's funny because someone told me a few months ago that they actually took pictures from my Jurassic.Jen page and made like another Jurassic Jen account. It was pretty cool, but some people reported it, so I don't think it's there anymore. But I'm like, don't give me my freaking name, Jurassic Jen. Like, so
Jurassic Jen.
I'm the real Jurassic Jen. Yeah, but so I made that page because of I have a regular page. It's called Jen Dursty, like my name, Jen Durst. But a lot of my family and friends were like, not that I cared because it's funny, but they would make fun of me and they're like, this whole page is Jurassic Park stuff. Like it's always you in a Jurassic Park t-shirt. It's always you doing Jurassic Park. So then I'm on a podcast, and I know you listen to the podcast Hollywood Late Night. And a while back, he just kept calling me Jurassic Jen, and I'm like, you know what? Like, I'm gonna make a page just for Jurassic Park, and it that's what like was so good to me because it brought me into like the fandom and like all other people who like share Jurassic love, and that's why it was like great to make. And
well, Jurassic Jen, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me. It was so much fun.
Absolutely. I'm sure I'll see you in the future, and we'll keep in touch.
Of course.